I am a woman of many hats. I am a professional dancer, choreographer. I have a dance company of my own. I'm also a writer, mostly poetry and songwriting. I teach as well. I teach at Broadway Dance Center, so I'm always keeping myself busy. I was 7 when I started dancing. My mother actually used to teach part-time at night. And I was growing up watching this, and by the time I was 7, I was like, okay, I can't sit in my chair and watch anymore. I want to dance too. I started out at a Russian dance school, but around the time I was 13, at that point, I think my mom realized that it was more than just a hobby or an after-school activity. So I auditioned for the Performing Arts High School in Atlanta called the Cab School of the Arts. And that was really where my training started to expand. I started doing ballet, modern, jazz, hip hop, African. I had been competing from the time I was 8. By the time I was 16, I won 5 gold medals for the United States in my age division, which was the Youth Latin. When I was 18 and I went out to California, I auditioned for So You Think You Can Dance, and I was a top 30 finalist for them.
I'm just so happy to see good Latin dancing that you have made my day.
Thank you.
How happy are you?
I'm Vegas happy.
Oh!
22, I was a San Francisco 49ers cheerleader, and recently, last year, I was signed to Block, which is a large dance agency in New York, and I was able to dance for Madonna, dance for Jennifer Lopez, Flo Rida. I was on the Today Show, Dr. Oz, so I've done a few things. I've been really fortunate as far as the type of work I've been able to be a part of. None of it was by chance, though. None of it was like a luck thing or anything like that. I always worked really hard, and I love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. I always tried to position myself so that I could be around the best and figure out what they were doing right. So I started a dance company. I created Ballroom Bass, which is a fusion group. The response was really good when we performed at the first show, and then that turned into performing in a nightclub, and I wound up having 20 dancers. So we've just been kind of doing our thing, you know, gig by gig. Taking a small break from it right now, but we'll be back and running probably in the next 6 months. For my 26th birthday, I went out the night before and I bought this beautiful white suit, and I was like ready to run New York with my girls, and we went out dancing all night. And I got home, and when I was getting undressed, the inside of the white camisole was filled with blood. And the next day we went to the doctor's office. They told me it was nothing to worry about, that I was overdoing it, take a break, relax, stop dancing so much. 3 days later I was back in there doing an ultrasound and the mammogram, and then they sent me for the MRI. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I just felt my heart drop. I felt like they had the wrong person, but deep down I kind of knew. I was told that I was going to have a bilateral mastectomy within 3 weeks of finding out the news, and that I was going to be on bed rest. I'm like, no, there's no way. I'm too young, I'm too healthy, I don't smoke, I don't have a family history. It wasn't really registering until I was laid out in the room for surgery. I haven't been angry, I fluctuate back and forth between being fine and feeling like, okay, life goes on, you have to keep moving, and feeling just this wave of sadness roll over me. I'm terrified about losing my hair. Just the idea psychologically of losing my hair is so overwhelming. I know in my mind that it's just hair and that it will grow back. You know, my hair is not who I am. Like, I've spent my entire life in an industry that's really highly predicated on your looks, and to have both breasts removed, and I've gained weight in the last 3 months because I can't work out. So it's like losing my body and now losing my hair is just, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. I have not been dancing for 3 months now. It's such a part of who I am. It really is not just something I do. And as an artist, it also helps me because that's always been my outlet to express myself. So it's been extremely difficult. A friend of mine has started an Indiegogo page for me, which is a fundraiser site. I started getting these responses, not only financially, but people could email me or reach me via Facebook. And I had some really interesting experiences because there was a girl in London who reached out to me and sent me the most beautiful message. She just said basically that she had never met or seen anybody my age who had also had breast cancer, and a 19-year-old who wrote me from Brazil and said that she had been scared to leave her house for the last 6 months because she didn't want to face anyone or tell anyone. I think the combination of being a communication major, specifically with a focus on media, I think I want to use that to act as an advocate and a voice that brings publicity to breast cancer. I really would like to use my story and also my connections as a platform to just educate women, make them aware. Throughout this whole process, I would say first God has been there for me. Like, I really had to ground myself in my faith and my spirituality to kind of try to get a grip on what I was facing. And then on a physical level, I would say absolutely my mother, my brother, and just the dance community, who really is like part of my family. I think my spirit is what motivates me, and my spirit it's not mine alone. It's like such a combination of things. It's a combination of my family, it's a combination of my friends, it's a combination of my relationship to God, and just being able to go to that quiet place internally and know that I don't have to do this walk alone. And that's really, like, I have people holding my hands and standing behind me right now. I appreciate everything now. I don't take anything for granted. It's like, to be able to take a walk outside is a blessing. To be able to come to school, like some days I'm so tired, I'm like, ugh, I don't want to go to school. You know, and I'm like, I'm lucky to be able to come to school. I'm not in a hospital bed, and, you know, to be able to dance again soon, just the idea of being able to dance again keeps me going. And I find inspiration really in everything. I think it's like what you look for, you'll find. Live strong, that's my new thing. Has a little ballet slipper in the middle because you got to dance while you're living strong.